Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to take a second to show you this Cleveland Ironworks wood burning stove cold air intake. There weren't really a lot of good videos out there showing how this thing goes together, so I want to show you all. These are the exact pieces to everything. So you've got this little guy here, and this actually is going to go on the outside. It has this removable little screen that pops out, and effectively what happens, we'll put this thing through the wall, and then you can basically connect the hose on there with a little hose clamp, and this will go right up to the wall. And then as far as the exterior connection goes, you basically have this little plate that'll go over top of it, and that is there to keep like rain and stuff out of it. And then you've got an interior wall plate here that's used to cover up the hole that you make in the wall. Now I want to show you guys the installation real quick. So what I've done thus far is, I haven't drilled any holes or anything. Got my wood burning stove here. Got the intake here in the back, and then we're going to drill a hole into the wall right around here. And one of the things that's kind of complicated for me is that I've got this Hardy style siding, and what I don't want to happen is I don't want to drill the hole through and have it come out in some awkward place where maybe it weakens one of the panels and one of the panels falls off or something like that. So what I did was I used a water level. You guys haven't seen one of these before, they're really cool. You can make one. The concept is you basically just use water to indicate where a level spot is. So effectively I set this thing wherever I thought the hole in the inside should be, and then wherever the other end of this hose goes to, that's you can kind of see the water level there. That's effectively the same level as the top of that water. Well, it's not really working right now because I've got this valve closed, but you can kind of see the idea. It's basically a level that allows you to work around corners. I use that to figure out and mark a line here on the wall, and then I used a large square to make sure that wherever I'm drilling a hole, it's going to be right in the center, so I have a nice straight shot between the intake on the wood burning stove and the wall. I've also verified with a stud finder I'm not going to hit any studs here, so we should be good to go through there. I'm going to start by drilling a small hole first, and that way if there's any issues, we can just like put some caulk over it and move over and drill a different hole there. Get a little bubble level as well, so you make sure we're drilling a nice square hole. And let's get to it. Alright, got the first pilot hole drilled through the wall. I think it's actually right at where I wanted. Did a little pencil mark right there. And yeah, I think that's about how it's going to line up. And what I'm looking for is just having a nice clearance up top here, where I can put some caulk around there, seal the whole thing up. And if I ever want to put a deck here later, it's not too close to the ground, and we're not like interfering with too much of the material here on the Hardy board. Alright, so I went ahead and hooked up this aluminum tube for it, just kind of temporarily set it in place. I got to trim it to length, kind of see the full length, how the wall plate's going to go on there. Take a look at the outside. There's a good bit of excess material over here that's sticking out. And what I did was I ended up crinkling together as much inside the wall as I could, so that what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this. I compress it as much as I could because this stuff can kind of get pulled out and expand quite a bit. So if I ever need to move this or use it later for whatever reason, I want to make sure I have the flexibility. Did a little Sharpie mark there. Now we'll just, I'm going to see if I can cut it with the utility knife to give that a shot. Alright, so now comes the fun part. I'm going to try basically slipping this guy through here while we're trying to tighten the worm clamp around it. Let's see how this works. Alright, I think I got this thing snugged up. think the hose is a little bit too large for this, I guess, bit that it's connecting to, but it's not too big a deal. So it's a little bit crinkled up, but I got it snug. Main thing is to try to keep critters and whatnot out. That's what this little extra critter guard is, but now comes the challenge of getting it fixed up to the wall. But the hole, you end up having to drill a hole. Basically, it's big enough so this hose clamp in there. Can't see it. You can also go inside the wall, and you won't notice it's a nice clean connection. Now, in order to hold this guy on, we're gonna have to simultaneously put this external cover on as well, and we'll probably put a bead of caulk along the top and around all the sides and all that as well. But what I'm going to try to use is these sheet metal screws, or sheet metal to wood screws. I got these for doing my roof anyways, but these guys are hopefully deep enough. What I'm trying to do is go into the sheathing inside the wall. You don't want to just be in the siding, but I'm trying to go all the way into wood. So alright, got it all installed, and I did end up putting some sealant all the way around the outside, and this will help keep it weatherproof. Of course, I left the bottom open so that if there is any leakage for whatever reason, it doesn't accumulate behind the wall. Well, anyways, folks, that does it for today's video. I hope this helped you out and helps give you a better idea about what all is involved with installing the wood stove cold air intake. And anyways, thanks for watching.